Hi folks, it's Nigel from Ambling Trails. So today you find me on Winter Hill. Winter Hill actually dominates the landscape between Manchester and Liverpool and is about 1500 feet in height. But what makes it really distinctive is it has a radio mast which adds another kind of 1000 feet, and so it can be seen for miles and miles away. We're going to explore the plateau that's on top. Although it's called a hill, it actually has many individual different peaks, probably about 6 or 7. So we're going to investigate those, have a look at the views and see what we find. So this is where I'm starting my journey, just off Colpit Road. Alright, we're getting onto the moors now. Just over the brow of that hill is the reservoir. So this is the remote Dean Mill Reservoir, high up on the side of Winter Hill. It was actually built as a reservoir for Dean's Mill, which is down in the valley in a place called Bowerbridge. So from the reservoir we're now heading in that direction there, and then we're going to follow the contour of the hill, and that's actually called Counting Hill. We kind of get to about there. So we've just come up from Dean's Reservoir and we're now going to head over to the Winter Hill mast, following this track here. So this is what typical moorland looks like. Complete nothingness. It's almost like a desert. I feel the wind just cutting through me. Now we're at the top of Winter Hill, and you can see the main mast, which is 1015 feet. The mast was first put in place by the police in 1950s, and then first transmission mast was in 1956, and then replaced by this mast in 1966. And it's actually wide enough for a man to climb inside. So we're going past the trig point and the remaining mobile mast in a westerly direction, because we're now heading to Noon Hill. So I'm at the top of Noon Hill now, and it was here in 1958 that the remains of man, woman and a child was discovered. Also a flint, arrowhead and knife, and these were dated back to 4,000 years to the Bronze Age. So whilst this might be remote now and quite wild and desolate, 4,000 years ago this would have been a wooded area, and in fact we're in a sort of in a bow of the hill of Winter Hill, and therefore it would have been quite sheltered here, but probably as good a place as any to set up home. As you can see, we are now approaching the Pigeon Tower. So in 1905, Lord Leverhulme built for his wife the Pigeon Tower, or as it was called then, the Lookout Tower. It's built across 4 floors. In the top roof there's actually a fireplace, and above the fireplace is like a sort of crest, a wheel, and within that wheel are the letters that spell out the word wheel, and they're supposed to represent William, Hesketh, Elizabeth, Ellen with an E, Lever, so obviously incorporating and combining their names together to spell the word wheel. Also, it contains the motto of Lord Leverhulme. So Lord Leverhulme's motto was translated from Latin into something along the lines of, I spurn the fear to change. So we're now walking from the Pigeon Tower along this track here, and this track would have been the original road from Belmont over to Horwich in terms of the karting track, and we're heading in that direction to Rivington Pike. Yeah, obviously if you wanted to take the quicker route, if you were walking, you could just walk straight over Winter Hill, but that definitely would have exposed you to the elements. This one was a bit more sheltered, not a whole lot, but probably just enough. Right, let's get moving on to Rivington Pike then. On the 15th of July 1588, Rivington Pike beacon was lit for the first time. This was warning the populace that the Spanish Armada was approaching. I'm not sure the agricultural workers of Rivington would have actually conceptually understood that. It would have been literally like aliens landing. What's a Spaniard? What's a sailing ship? So there's many stories regarding the two lads. One is about 2 princes to a Saxon king dying on the top of Winter Hill. Another is about 2 factory lads coming over from Horwich and going back home to Belmont, getting lost on the top of Winter Hill and dying in the conditions. Obviously none of these can be substantiated, but it is very credible given what the conditions can be like up here, from whiteouts of snow to whiteouts of thick mist, and obviously very exposed and very cold. But yeah, we have the 2 cairns, this one here, the other one just on the top there. Right, we're now heading in a sort of southeasterly direction. So right in the very far distance you can actually see the Peak District, and the buildings we see over there are Manchester. So alongside the path between Two Lads and Holden's plantation, I've come across these. I am very curious as to what they are. There's a number of them in this little kind of valley. very mossy, damp, wet place. But yeah, if you've got any ideas, do drop me a line in the comments, please. Until September 1896, you would have had free access to this track that takes you from Horwich and Bolton up onto the moors. So on the newspaper, the headline was, "Will you come out on Sunday morning?" On Sunday the 6th of September 1896, 10,000 Boltonians marched by this spot to reclaim an ancient right of way over Winter Hill. The path is now dedicated as a public right of way for the enjoyment of all. So I'm now on what is called Coalpit Road. So I'm off the moors, away from the biting wind and the remoteness of the moors. So my journey is coming to an end now. I have enjoyed it, believe it or not. So it'd be great to have your encouragement by thumbs up for the dogs, and any comments are welcome. And if you can subscribe, that'd be great too. All the best, and I'll see you on the next one.